Welcome to the recording for the final project plan for web design. You can see that the final project plan, you're going to be able to do some research in a website about a famous athlete or a famous person, whatever you choose. So it's completely up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and slide down. If you look at this, the requirements. Final project, you'll research 4 people from one of the following fields. So it could be 4 people from science, 4 people from math, from politics, from art, from athletics. So you research 4 people, and in your research you're going to find the date and place of their birth and the death if they're no longer alive, information about their childhood experiences, information about their education, and then their lifetime achievements. At least 2 different web pages for each person. So make sure you take notes. And this says do not copy and paste, but if I were you, when you find information about the people, you can go ahead and copy and paste into a word processor, but then you want to obviously change up the wording, rewrite it. I find it easier to put it into a word processor than I can just rewrite from what I read on that word processing document. So you do need to revise it yourself. So you're going to obviously find images online, and you're going to make, in your Unit 5 folder, you're going to make a folder called Images, and that's where all the information will go. And also the notes on your copyright information of where you got the pictures, where you got information, because you need to do your notes and citations later on. So many of the different activities that you'll do, so you're going to do some researching, citing sources, using tables. Now this says defining and applying CSS. I'm not too particular about that. So if you're having struggles with CSS, don't worry about it, but you do need to make sure your pages look similar. Similar fonts, similar backgrounds, similar colors, etc. So I'm not going to be too picky about the CSS, but the CSS, if you learned how to do it earlier, it does make life easier for you. And remember, it can be done in the NVU program, and you'll do all of this work in the NVU program. Okay, first assignment that you'll have for this project is your plan. So your plan, you must have at least 9 pages. So that means if you would have your index page, which would be your main page called index.html, and if you only had 9 pages to the whole thing, then that means you would have 2 pages for each person. But you can see how the breakdown would be. In this example, they happen to have 4 pages for each person. But for some of it, their education achievements might be on the same page, or so you know their intro page and their birth and childhood would be together on one page, and the education achievements could be on another page. So however you want to do that, but you'll see a picture of what your index page, your main page, will look like in a minute. But you can see that you'll have nav bars on each page, image, and then text information. So again, you're going to decide on your topic, include all the information in the plan, lay out your website similar to this. You can use a graphics program, you can use Word to do it, however you want to, so you can lay it out this way. Save your file probably as a doc file, call it plan, or a text file if you want to. Save it in the Unit 5 folder. Now in the Unit 5 folder, you're going to make a folder for each person. So if you're doing basketball, you might do Jordan, Jabbar, James, etc. So you'd have a folder for each of the 4 people. And remember, for your folders, just use their last name, all small letters. Make life easier. So when you submit this, you're going to submit to me the whole Unit 5 folder that's zipped, and I'm going to be able to see probably your Word document or even a PowerPoint slide to show your layout and what your plan's going to be, and then I'll be able to see the 4 folders that you have, one for each of the 4 people you are researching. Okay, color and style. Now, again, you can use CSS if you want to. If you don't want to use CSS, that's fine with me. But what you're going to do, you're going to write an essay explaining what your plan is for the look of your site. So you're going to talk about the background color, the text style and color, the text color, how the nav bar is going to appear, paragraph on why you're using certain colors, And I would call this color and style essay. So call it color and style essay, save it in your Unit 5 folder, then zip and submit your Unit 5 folder. So again, if you choose not to use CSS, then don't worry about this part. If you do choose CSS, then you're going to call it, and you set up that CSS and export it, you're going to call it final.css. If you don't use CSS, you do need to make sure your background, text styles, and all of that, make sure those things are uniform across all of your pages. And now we come up to the research. And the research for this final project, so you're going to do the research on the people, and again it says at least 2 websites for each of your people, and have at least 1 photo for each of your people. I would suggest 3 photos. So you're going to have a photo on the main page, and then you'll probably have a little photo on at least 2 of the pages that you have for your people. So it would be nice to have pictures on all the pages. So as you go through and do your research and you find the pictures, of course you're going to create an images folder in the Unit 5 folder, so make sure you have that. Resize the graphics, rename the graphics so they have proper names with no spaces, all small letters. And then you're going to turn in this report in just in a word processor file with all the images and their citations. So this again is just going to be a word processor file called graphics, or called graphics.txt. So this is going to be the information that you're going to share about each of the people that you're working on. This just talks about how to set up your notes, make sure you're organized. You have a section of your word processing document for each person. Type the person's name at the top of the section, put the copyright information, etc. So this is all about your research. So that's what I should get on this. And you can always go down here on each of these assignments, talks about how you're going to get particular grades. Okay, next this is a template that you can use, and what this suggests is that you create a template that will have all these different characteristics, then you can continue to use that template. So that's fine with me. We haven't done that in the class, but you can see the steps down here to create a template. And as I scroll down, so to create a template, so it's going to, you click on File, New, and then a blank template. You can see the things that you choose. And this is if you're going to do the CSS. So I wouldn't really worry about that too much. So don't worry about the template part. I don't think this is even graded. Yeah, I don't think template is a graded assignment. As you do your work, I mean, this is what your pages might look like for the first person. So a little bit more on creating the web pages, what they might look like. And again, when you put your text in, it's in your own words, not directly copied and pasted. Again, you can copy and paste it, but then go in and change it. And as you do the work for each of the people, so this might be person 1, their birth.html. So you'd have in your Unit 5 folder, and you'll have a folder for each person. And make sure you name their files properly. And actually what you do get a grade on the template, but if you don't use CSS, you can still make a template. You can send me what your pages are going to look like. So that would be fine. That will work out great. So you'll send me all 5 of your pages, how they're all set up. So use a template to make all the pages for the first person, save each page in that person's folder. Okay, what this just has you create that template for just the one person. And you submit that template for just the one person. But then of course you can use that template over and over for all of your people. So you submit just the one template, and that's going to be in your Unit 5 folder zipped. Now you do a little self-evaluation, so as you finish your project, then here's how you can go in and kind of grade it yourself. And again, don't worry about the CSS, you're not going to get graded on that. Although if you do CSS, I'll probably give you extra credit. So go down here, make sure you're at least in this column, the 4-point column, or in the 6-point column. You have all these things done. The next, final project assignment. So now once you've created those files for each of your 4 people, the pages for each of your 4 people, at least 2 pages for each person, then you're going to create your index page. And your index page is going to look like something like this. So you can see you'll have links to all 4 of your people from that index page. So the introductory paragraph and then these links. And of course your navigation bars are going to need to move back and forth amongst the pages and so forth. So this is what everyone's index page should look like. If you're doing athletes, famous athletes, then you talk about athletics a little bit. You'd have the pictures. Then I should be able to click on the person's name and it would take me to their main page, or the person's picture would take me to their main page. So you can do a text link or an image link. And the way to do those when you're in NVU, all you do is you click on whatever you want to be the link, and at the top you'll see the thing that looks like a chain link, and that's how you make the link to the different files in your folders, the different web pages in your folders. And you submit all of the Unit 5 folder zipped, and that's it. Now one thing to remind you about, when you are inserting pictures in, please remember, and I've showed you this 2 or 3 times and I mentioned it, whenever you insert an image, you always have to choose image is relative to page location. So I'll go ahead and open up NVU just to show you that. I'm just going to blank page. I'm going to blank page in NVU. Then I'm going to go ahead up here. So there's that link command that you can link pages and things to. So I'm going to go. I want to put an image in. So image, choose file, and I'm going to show you a couple of things here. So the alt text. So pick 2 dogs. And I have to click right here. URL is relative to page location. For some reason, it's not letting me choose that. Now I'm going to double click on it. I wonder what, let me go back to choose the file. It's strange it's not letting me do this. Oh, because I haven't saved the page yet, possibly. So let me see here. File, save as, I think that's what it is. So a test page, and I'm going to save it as a test page in my Unit 5. So it's test.html. I'll hit save. Okay, now that I have it saved, now I can do URL as relative to page location. So you have to save the page first before you can do that. Then I'll hit OK. And let's pretend I had this. I want to do a picture link. So I click on that picture, and then I hit the word link right here, and I would type in wherever I wanted this to go to. So I do http://www.yahoo.com, and that's not where it would go, but I would do that. Or I could choose a file to link to. So that's what you're going to do if you're going to have pictures of all your athletes or mathematicians. You're going to want to link to files. So then the picture will go to the files. But that would just link to a web page. And then if I want this to be a text link, I can highlight that and do the same thing. Link http://www.yahoo.com. And now you can see that those things, that's a link, and then this picture's a link. Now, as far as linking to your own files, so I'm on the dog picture here. I'm going to hit link, and maybe I want this to actually link to a file. And I'll just click in Unit 4 where I have maybe my baby. And there's no sense in the way I'm linking these things, but I just want to give you an example of how this works. I'll do Control S to save that. And I'm going to go ahead and preview this. Oh, I need to go open it up in a regular web browser. So I'm going to go open that up and see what happens. So File, Open. I'm going to browse to my Web Student portfolio, Unit 5, Test HTML, Open. So now I've gone to that page, and I can see if I click on two dogs, check out, see it goes to Yahoo, doesn't it? And if I click on the picture of the two dogs, that's going to click to my baby one that was located on that other drive. So that's how. So I've showed you how to link to something outside of your web space, and how to link to something that you've created within your folder. Because remember, in this assignment, these pictures will link to, like this picture of Einstein will link to the Einstein folder in the Unit 5 folder. This picture of Plato will link to the Plato folder, etc. So I think I've covered everything for you. I look forward to your work coming in, and there's a lot of points on all these projects. So get going on those as soon as possible, and you can saw that the first couple of them actually go pretty fast. So in an hour or half an hour on some of that, you could get easy 40 to 60 points. So thanks for watching. I look forward to your work coming in. Bye.